Okay, before we talk about the game tomorrow, this weekend, Jamie was just in there, very humble, talking about how he's got a new perspective in life and how his health problems, probably made him enjoy his football more than ever. From the manager's point of view, you must be delighted with the news that we got regarding Jamie's health earlier in the week.
Well, I think it puts football in perspective, and it's a cliche that, but for Jamie to say that, I think is outstandingly, how can I put it, charitable of him, because he's had a really rough time. There was a time when not just his football career, his overall health was in danger, and his wife Louise and the kids, were so devoted, obviously, as you can imagine, to the husband and father, and you could see the effect it was having in the family. But the delight that he's recovered is without question now, and no one deserves it more, because he's a conscientious big guy, very popular about the place, not just in the dressing room and outside. Even the ball boys, I've told the story 1,000 times, acknowledge him. He's one of the few players who thanks him for the ball. That's the kind of guy he is. That's another story for I've told 1,000 times, but not on the take too long.
What do you think it says about the man himself, given that he's been very consistent this season, he's been playing exceptionally well, yet always in the background, I guess, would have been counting towards this day, just hoping that everything's going to be well. He seems to have been able to put that to one side and been a top performer for him.
Yeah, outstanding, but he's done exceptionally well. Everyone has made a mistake this season, and when he did make a mistake, a highly publicised one at the first game, I said at the time, I'd like any player who's not made a mistake to stand up and let me see him, because he doesn't exist. And he made a mistake, he recovered from that very, very well, and in certain games the saves that he's made has cost us, it got us a next round of the cup at Dunfermline, for example, and it's enabled us to get points in the league. So he's done exceptionally well, and no one's faultless, and he's not faultless, he'll be the first to admit that. But overall he's been consistent, and the great news is that he's got that out of his mind, that potential illness or slight disability gone, and the clearance that he's got is great.
And Jamie said, that it's sort of given him a new lease of life, the fact that he is fine and he can go on and play. Do you think that's been reflecting in his performances and in training?
I think so, yes. He's young for a goalkeeper still. When you get over 30, people write you off, and I think it's quite well known that goalkeepers tend to last longer, experienced goalkeepers, and he is becoming that. He is that, and becoming more and more experienced. I think he hit a milestone recently of, 200 games for Aberdeen. He's over that now, and he had a great number of games prior to that for Dundee, so he's got vast experience, and you can see in the games he uses it to the best advantage.
This weekend's game, Craig, obviously, would you have thought at this stage of the season there'd been an opportunity if you beat Celtic to go above them in the SPL? We're a fair chunk into the league.
Well, I was going to say the opposite. You're right in what you say, Stephen, but I was going to say the opposite. The league's a long way to go, and if we were here with half a dozen games left, we'd be really in with an outstanding chance. We still are, I'm not denying that, but to be in touch with Celtic, who are the champions elect in my book, to be in touch with them, closely in touch, is good, but we've got to get a victory on Saturday to say where we are, or at least not lose the game. We're certainly not going out with the not lose mentality. We're going out with a home game, home support, good run of form without being brilliant, and therefore we're going to try and win the game.
You get a bit of confidence after last week's performance, so Craig, when 4-1 could have been more down at St Mirren. The boys must be anticipating this game very much after that performance last weekend. Well,
the performance last week was, I would say, moderate. It wasn't as good as the result would indicate. That's my opinion. The players know that. They were not carried away because we scored 4 goals away from home. The week before, actually, we played better football, and Ross County were less in the game the week before than St Mirren this time. St Mirren had a great number of corner kicks, for example, and could have, in the in the other part of the game get a goal or a goal or two. So we took our chances. That's the way I would describe the game at Paisley. And I didn't think for 1 minute that we were exceptionally good. I thought we were competent. But I hope we'll have to play better than we played last week to win the game here on Saturday.
Obviously, a couple of injuries for you, Craig. Gavin Ray missed, Gary Smith was out, young Ryan took a wee knock as well, more than a wee knock. Is there any chance that these guys will be back?
Well, we've still got the injury doubts. Gavin Ray's not quite recovered yet, but there's 48 hours to go, or just under that, maybe 44 hours to go. Ryan Fraser looked okay this morning. He got another knock this morning in training, but he recovered from that and continued to do the work that was asked of him. Gary Naismith will be a while yet, a couple of weeks anyway. Stephen Hughes the same. Rob Milsom is having an operation, another one up here. So we're 4 key players missing, and we were last week as well, if you count Milsom, Naismith, Ray and Hughes. They are very important players. A couple of them international players missing, but we're managing to cope without them at the moment. But when they come back, we'll have a really strong squad.
The atmosphere is set to be pretty good at the weekend. Craig, obviously a lot of Celtic fans coming up and a lot of Dons fans are going there as well. How important could they be for you at the weekend?
Well, we want to keep the fans, that's the first thing. We want them to leave the game happy, and there's nothing more depressing for me than to see the Aberdeen support drift away unhappy from a home fixture or have to drive home. And I'm delighted to say that quite a number of the away games this year, it started with the one at Celtic. We lost the game, but they were happy with the performance. And then at Kilmarnock and at Perth and at Tannadice, they were delighted, and even more so I think at Paisley. So it's really rewarding when you find the fans are happy, and it's one of the main objectives I have here, to please the terrific support, because it's a loyal support. The away support is quite unbelievable in terms of the volume that they produce of support. If the home support in relation to the number could produce that amount of volume, it would be a goal of a start. I would actually ask the home support to be like the away support, and I think it's unconditional support we get away from home. At home we get conditional support, and that the condition is that you've got to be doing well and playing well. Now we are always trying to do that. It doesn't always work because there are opponents trying to stop you doing that. But I found here at Aberdeen the away support's unconditional and fantastic.